Hello, sober people. It's me. I'm super pumped I get to do this outside today. It is gorgeous, sunny, kind of cold in the shade, but for April in Minnesota, it's nice. It's really nice. I needed this. Yesterday, I had like the worst day ever with my sobriety. I didn't relapse. I'll just put that out there right away. I did not relapse. But I felt it. Like, I felt that draw to alcohol that I haven't really felt in a while. Something super stupid. I went to work. I usually do midnight shifts, and I'm used to being around really chill midnight night owls. And yesterday I had to be there really early for a day training on handling people who are wanting to attack you at the hospital, which happens like seriously 5 times a week. So anyway, I'm in this training, and there's just these people in the room with us that were just so negative, so toxic. Like, you could just feel their frustration pent up inside of them, and that they were going to use this training to point out all the things that they see wrong with our system. And it's like the training was a solution for all the wrong. So it's like we're already trying to resolve that. So why are you continuously bringing in that negativity? Anyway, it was just like I was thrown out of my balance just because it was something so different already in my day, and then on top of it, just like stomaching that negativity and not trying to prevent it from piercing me. And I don't feel quite right in where I'm at. Oh God, it's getting sunny. Stop. I don't feel quite right in where I'm at, like with the relationships around me and, my career and like what am I doing? And I just started to get overwhelmed. So I get home after dealing with rush hour traffic, and I sat at my kitchen table, and I was just like, here it is. Here's that draw to alcohol. Like, I was having a panic attack. I'm like, what happened? Like, 2 days ago, I was feeling so confident in myself and my own abilities and my own peace. And now all of a sudden, I'm thrown back into that struggling addict mode. And I think it's important, I also read, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I read this question somebody posted out there on like the Facebook groups that was true or false, once an addict, always an addict. And, everybody said true. And they were addicts themselves, so they have a right to put that opinion in. And I agree. True. Once an addict, always an addict. And that doesn't mean that people can't change, people can't see the light, people can't do better for themselves. It just means that once you've gone so long with using a substance to fix your emotions, a substance to fuel your emotions, it's always going to tempt you back. It's always going to encourage you to take that easy route again, because it is so easy, and people by nature like the easy button in life. So without getting into depth about why I think sober people are just so fucking strong and so amazing and so admirable, I'm going to get on with what I blogged about today. What I learned in my training, and also just what I've learned by working in the hospital, taking science courses, I'm dabbling in nursing, and is that when we're talking about like what I did to resolve my issue yesterday, I went to Caribou. I tried to force some writing out of me. It was terrible. I wasn't writing from a good place. I was writing from a stressed place. I was writing from panic attack. I was trying to force out emotion that I was not feeling at the time. So I took a step back, and I did a guided meditation. Yeah, right there in Caribou. I'm such a freak. My friend picks on me for that. But I did. I closed my eyes, and I put my earphones in, and I did a guided meditation, and I really just tried to connect my emotions in the moment. I mean, before I did that, I outlashed on other people, and it was bad. Like, I didn't take the path that I had already set for myself months ago when I decided to become sober. I used meditation a lot in the first 30, 60 days. And what people don't realize is that meditation, a lot of people blow off meditation as hippie, spiritual, weird, you should probably not shave your armpits if you're going to meditate. That's just a stigma. That's a false view on the topic. So I wrote a blog today on just really explaining what happens to our minds when we meditate and why it's so important to utilize that practice in sobriety. So when we have a patient come into the hospital and they're in 4-point restraints because they're attacking, they're trying to hurt, they're throwing punches, they're doing God knows what in their state of mind. One of the first approaches that like some police officers, security, and medical staff will take is asking them to tell them out loud what they're feeling. So somebody might be having a spit mask on because they're spitting at everybody and trying to bite people. Well, what you can ask them to do is like, what's going on? What are you feeling right now? And when they say, I'm feeling panicked, I'm feeling helpless, I'm feeling like you guys are attacking me, what that does scientifically is it activates our prefrontal cortex. So the area of the brain that is responsible for reasoning, problem solving, and cognitive thinking. That part of our brain gets activated and we change because we are able to, okay, let's think reasonably here. I am in a spitting mask because I was spitting. Like, I can calm down. Like, you start to be able to use that, like, I'm in control of this panic attack. I am in control of this anxiety. You start to think that way. Before you do that, before you connect to your emotion and acknowledge it and allow that prefrontal cortex to activate, you are dealing with emotion. You are high in emotion. Amygdala, which is like in your temples, which is kind of funny because when I feel stressed, like I feel like somebody's like grabbing my head. Anyway, the amygdala is the location that's involved with experiencing emotions. So that is like on high power. Like it is blowing up inside your brain. You feel like you're going to implode and you can't think with reason. That's why a lot of times people act on emotions instead of reasoning. And through the process of meditation, by doing so, you're training your brain to start activating that reasonable thinking, and it shuts off that part of your brain that's telling you to drive on emotion. So how I connect that and what that means in terms of sobriety, I mean, you can connect meditation to like, if you've ever read like some of the habits of the most successful people in this world, like financially speaking, they do practice meditation like twice a day. Some of them do it for an hour in the morning, some of them do it for 5 minutes, some of them do it on their lunch. Like they meditate because it's no coincidence why those very highly successful people meditate. It's because it helps them to activate that reasoning in their brain, to make good decisions, to think clearly, to problem solve, and to act on those problems, not on the emotions behind them. And I by nature, I'm an emotional actor. I get tattoos on emotion. I get piercings on emotion. I start fights because my emotions are in overload. All these things that people around me, especially my mother, has noticed about me. It says like, Jacqueline, you think on your emotions too much. You know? And it's like, you're right, I do. And why that's sometimes a good thing, while that's sometimes a good thing, when they're negative emotions, it can be detrimental, especially to sobriety. So meditation, incorporating it into sobriety, it looks a little bit like, and I failed at it yesterday for like 3 hours. I just let myself like feel this draw. But if I could go back and change it, which it wouldn't matter because it wouldn't have inspired this post, had I not suffered through that freaking emotional turmoil I was doing to myself, I sat and I meditated. And I meditated about what I was feeling. And I breathed in through Gabby's guide, which the link I'll put below. Through Gabby's guide is like, take in all of the stress you're feeling, all of the emotion you're feeling. You're feeling helpless. You're feeling a draw to alcohol. You're feeling a draw towards your substance. You're having a panic attack. You're feeling negative. You're feeling overwhelmed. Breathe that in and acknowledge it. Don't hide from it. Don't try to shove it under the rug and put on this little fake smile that everything's okay and fucking I'm not gonna explode. Because you will. Like, you will explode eventually on something or someone. I felt like my option was either drink or smash some shit. And neither of those were really a good option. I mean, maybe smashing some stuff wouldn't be the worst, as long as it's like not gonna, I don't know, whatever. So yeah, so like it makes you acknowledge what you're feeling, and it makes you connect to that feeling, and then use your own ability to try to visualize it getting sucked out of you like a vacuum and taken away. And that's where I get a little like spiritual on you. But you use those spirits that are protecting you to take that away from you and take it onto themselves, because the human existence is so incapable of holding in the amount of emotions that we're able to experience in this life. Like, we go on emotional overload, and you know, we just can't process it all at once. So we just have to take a moment. And with sobriety, it's like, if you start to feel like you're losing it, like you're losing that grip on your sober streak, like, you need to stop and do something for yourself that's going to help you to shut that part of your brain off, that emotional draw, that emotional reasoning behind your addiction. So yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell, for the purposes of keeping this shortish. It's already 11 minutes. Oh my god, I'm a babbler. You know, just try to do some meditation, and you can read the full blog. I'll put a link below. And also, there's something cool that I'm doing on Sunday, which is I'm going live on a platform through Sober Journey, who paired up with Sober Pay It Forward. These are Facebook groups, to talk about consciousness and sobriety, and how I've used consciousness to fuel my sobriety. So anyway, go check that out. I put the link below too. And stay in touch. Like me on Facebook so you can kind of get those updates. And happy sober journey. Feel free to reach out to me if you start to feel that you need help. I'm here. I promise. I am here.